Well, what a start to the World Cup. If you looked at those fixtures in round one and thought Sri Lanka are going to just brush those teams aside and top their group, think again. Namibia have carried on from where they left off at the last T20 World Cup. They've humbled Sri Lanka and how by 55 runs. And I'm delighted that we've got someone from this proud Namibian side who had such a wonderful T20 World Cup last year. Craig Williams is with us. He's the team's most prolific run getter in the format after Gerard Erasmus. He's only recently retired. And I must ask him if he's regretting that decision right now. He'd have loved to be with the boys in Geelong for this day. Craig, what are your thoughts on what you just saw?
Yeah, Ranak, look, it's the reason I retired is because there were so many youngsters coming through and I couldn't keep up with them. So seeing the team and the squad pull off a win like this, just reiterates my decision was a good one. So I think it's a fantastic result, for the team. They would have prepared extremely well over the last 2 weeks for this fixture, for this game. And I think they just did the basics well and they got the results at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I must confess, I, like many others, do not get to watch a lot of Namibia cricket outside of the ICC events. We were so impressed by them at the last T20 World Cup. I must ask you, what makes Namibia click? They're such a competent, efficient outfit, which is so hard for an associate nation, especially in their first game of a T20 World Cup against a full member like Sri Lanka. But what makes Namibia click, Craig?
Look, I think there's a really strong culture in the team. They stick to their values. And these guys, look, it's an associate team, but they train extremely hard. I mean, these guys are putting in 4 to 6 hours a day. They all they do, is play cricket. These guys, they really put in the hard yards. And I was in an interview last week and I said to one of the newspapers, don't be surprised if Namibia starts winning, some of these big games. I mean, it's a professional outfit. And it's about time they start getting the exposure, that they deserve. So.
How did the last World Cup perhaps help? It's a similar bunch of players. We've seen and read a lot about Gerard Erasmus, but does the team think differently perhaps now when they come up against a full side or a Sri Lankan side? Is there that intimidation factor isn't there?
Look, there's a lot of belief in the squad. The guys know that they can pull off big victories. It's just about getting the opportunity, to be able to play against big test nations. I think that's the problem in associate cricket is that we're begging for big teams to play against us. We beat Zimbabwe in a 5-match series only 3 months ago. So we're starting to see the results, from hard work and a lot of belief. So it's just about getting those opportunities. The last time we played a test nation was at the last World Cup, which is a year ago. And that was against Sri Lanka. So it's fantastic that these guys can, start pulling off results like this. And then hopefully some of the big test nations will say, hey, well, let's fly into Namibia and go play some games there.
Yeah.